Welcome to another episode of Husbands Watching Housewives. I'm Scott.
And I'm Jeff.
And we just watched an episode of The Real Housewives of Orange County.
Yes, the penultimate episode.
Oh, penultimate.
It is. Penultimate.
We do love a penultimate.
Yes.
They were in Amsterdam.
Day two.
Apparently of a million days. When you hear to Emily, you'd be like, I'll be home in 3 days.
It's like, are you counting travel days? Because I'm sure it takes a lot of time to get to Amsterdam. And maybe she's going to take a
detour somewhere.
Yeah, because Shannon was saying that she was going to detour to London or Paris to see her
the
daughter.
kids, yeah.
So maybe Emily's going with her or some such. But...
Maybe, perhaps.
Yes.
Yeah. As I was going to say, I do want to call it Amsterdam.
Yes.
Because I just enjoy doing that all the time. So I was trying to figure out where they were staying in comparison.
Damn, Gina.
All right. If you're listening to this episode, you already knew what we just figured out. The name of this episode on our podcast.
Yes.
Damn, Gina.
No, Amsterdam.
Oh, Amsterdam. Gina. Got it.
Because Gina, yeah.
She was unconsciously stirring some shit in this one.
He was like, I'm living the story, or I'm just falling down.
Right. I'm debating whether to just pick a new theme song, for a temporary theme song from our, but I don't want to, I can't trust the music library from our platform.
No, and we have not heard back from our platform.
No, and that's making me nervous too.
Yeah, so they're like trying to figure out what's going to happen.
Or my other worry is that there's just no one working there. They're just like, whatever. Oh, hey, keep going. We're good.
They're on fall break.
Yeah.
We haven't noticed any other episodes being pulled.
Good.
So, that'll be good if we see one drop off from.
But what I don't want to risk another one dropping off, then I have to re-edit crap. So we're going to go musicless for now. Did you actually listen to the last episode?
I didn't. I don't do it very often.
Unless you're in the car with me and I make you.
Yeah, not make you. It's just like, I'm not usually, when I'm by myself, I'm usually reading or I can't do it. Maybe tomorrow when I'm working from home, I can listen to, because that's why I listen to podcasts typically, because I think they would frown upon it in my office.
Because you won't use headphones, that's why.
Well, but I don't want to be like, I can't imagine my former coworker would like have headphones in and probably maybe listening to music or maybe a podcast. And it's like, you gotta like take them out, answer the phone, and
Yeah.
I think if I'm a solitary office podcast listener, so I need to be in the home office, meaning the office in our home, not my work's home office. No.
Yeah, my work is one of those companies that this was before it was all a red flag of a toxic work environment, when they're like, we're like a family here. That's why we call it the home office.
Oh,
it's
they
like
said
our
that?
home. Yes. And then a few years later, there were like all those memes started up about like when you work somewhere and they call it, you say you're a family, that's a red flag. So
because it's a dysfunctional family.
Yes. They have stopped saying so much that we're a family. I think also because they realize it's a little patronizing, I think, after a while.
Well, it's funny because like we're a much smaller company than your company where I work, and they never said that. I think we're just like, we're chill and we're more laid back, but it's never like we're a family. We don't kumbaya. We don't do team building exercises in the escape rooms. We should maybe try doing that.
Well, that wasn't the whole company. That was just our department. So
right.
And I think that's because, he was in town. So
yeah.
Anyway. Oh, goodness. Okay. So Housewives, where did it start?
Crap. Now that you said that, in my head. It's day 2 in Amsterdam.
They're waking up.
Shannon is a little bit having a after the space cake day and trying to
little pot hangover.
Little come down, spilling her. Was that wine she was drinking?
It looked like
or was
wine.
This grape juice?
It could have been tea. I don't think it was grape.
It was very
juice.
dark.
It was very dark. So maybe it was
Coke. Cola.
Could have been Coca-Cola.
Yes.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Because she like spilled it out. She's like, really?
I didn't see. I thought it was wine because it looked a little purpley.
But like, who has wine at like that early?
That was my confusion as well. But unless their time zones were still off, I don't know.
Yeah, but you're not in Italy. You're in Amsterdam.
Yeah, I know, right?
So yeah, they're basically like recovering from the day, and then they were they went to the tulips, right?
Yeah, they ultimately went to the tulips. Yes. So it was them doing their hair and getting ready and stuff like that.
Right. Without any, I don't think anyone brought glam.
No, I don't think they did either.
Yeah.
Because it was funny that, Gina had that line about, you find me a Q-tip, and Emily was like, you expect me to find a Q-tip in this disaster area?
There are no Q-tips.
It was interesting seeing them kind of doing their own hair, and then, I think they all came out pretty well,
Well, except for Shannon. I think she's always going to be challenged, but she's not a beautician,
Right.
So I think she's like a person who's just used to having glam do it for her. So, yeah. It was, I was really thinking it came before the tulips, but it was basically straight to the tulips, right?
I think we're missing something, but...
They got to the lobby, and it was like, because they weren't really rehashing the previous day, because nothing really happened big in day one. Except the red light thing. Oh, okay. I know where we're going.
Okay. All right. Thank God you're here.
So they're tiptoeing through the tulips. Oh, Gina and Heather do mushrooms.
Yes, they do.
Because they want to see all the colors.
See all the colors. That's true.
Heather, being so pro-drug just because she's in Amsterdam is really amusing to me.
Yeah.
She's like, I want to see colors. Let's do some shrooms, Gina.
I mean, if there's ever a time to see colors, it's definitely there with the flowers and stuff. I was thinking the only other place that might be fun would be if you were to go see the foliage change, see the fall leaves somewhere, that'd be cool. Yeah. But
the thing is that when Heather's not being highfalutin Heather or fancy pants, she can actually be really a good time. She's kind of people were saying you're not fun, aside from her many years as a sitcom actress. Shout out.
They're saying she's not funny.
Well, they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah, that's
fun
true.
And funny.
But shout out to who? What? Did I ruin your joke?
Heather. Yeah, thanks.
Sorry.
I was kept trying to say it, and you're like, step. Let me step on that joke.
Yeah.
Shout out to Heather Page Kent.
Oh, yeah.
When she was a comedic actress. So, no, they do the tulips. It was very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
That definitely, I would go there. And then...
Apparently it was really hot. It did not convey to me how hot it was.
Yes.
So, you're right. They did go straight to the tulips because then they did the weird little hot tub canal thing, which is weird.
If it's so hot, why are you getting in a hot tub? But I
think just so it's not cold. I mean, they probably let it get lukewarm. I don't know. But yeah, it was very pretty.
Yes. And Gina was really concerned about the friendship of Jenn and Shannon with the cloud of Alexis looming over them. And it's just this whole... I laugh because I just know Alexis is going to have so much to say about it. That's the podcast I listen to for a bit whenever I'm by myself. And it's just her and Carlos.
Alexis has a podcast?
No, she recaps OC with Carlos King.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And she's having a field day lately because they keep talking about her.
Okay.
And she's just so offended by Jenn not claiming her.
Why is it the first time I'm hearing about you listening to the Carlos King recaps with Alexis?
I don't listen to the entire thing. I'll just usually maybe see a clip, and then maybe I might listen to it.
Okay.
I'll see a clip on Instagram, which maybe Alexis is a lot.
Yeah, I was say this explains why you could tolerate that 2T's episode way more than I could.
I still am good. I don't know about Jen, but I'm in a good place with Alexis, and I enjoy her to a certain extent. But she also gets really hyped up.
She's very frantic.
She talks. Yes.
It's
a frenzy to get the thoughts out, and I'm like, girl.
Yeah.
Dial it down.
Yeah. Kind of like what Emily was asking of Gina. Just dial it down. Quit talking.
At least when Gina had an excuse, it was drug induced.
Yeah.
Alexis, that's just normal. That's just Tuesday.
Yeah, that's true.
But this whole idea of you can't be friends with Alexis, or you're hurting me if you're friends with Alexis. And Jen got so hyped up. What do you mean, Shannon? She's been nothing but good to me. And it's why are you throwing down for just because you're confronted?
Seemed like
because that flashback at Tamra's party when she said, "You know what, Shannon, I wouldn't go because that could do something to us."
Mm-hmm.
She was very resigned in that moment. But then the second Gina challenges her and says, "What's this deal for you and Alexa?" She's like, "What do you mean? How dare you besmirch her name?"
I mean, Gina did kind of set things up in a very messy way to not only say that she is friends with Alexis, that Jen is, but also that all the nice things that Shannon just did for her, Jen thought were ridiculous.
Yes.
Which was really harsh.
That was really harsh. Because that's hurting Shannon more than Jen.
I know. And then I know they showed us those scenes of Jen and Gina kind of being acting confused. I don't even know why she's throwing me this party because I don't even have a wedding date yet.
Exactly.
But it's still, I don't know. It seems very clear to me that Shannon just wanted to do something nice, whether it made her feel better or it actually made Jen feel good. Either way, it was a nice
I feel like
gesture.
she was like celebrating this new blossoming friendship, this closeness with Jen, and that, came out as, well, you don't may not have a date, but let's just throw a party for
Right.
anyways, because I really like you more now than I did last season.
But I think for sure the whole Housewives of it all makes it difficult because they're like, well, this seems phony. So is she really doing this to be my friend, or is she just doing it for her for some other reason? So
Tamra.
I can see how, to make Tamra, pissy or whatever. So I can see how there's some, second guessing about the reasons behind it. But at the same time, I feel like at the end of the day, like it seemed like a fine event. And if they had fun at the time and they didn't think twice about it after the fact, then why are they thinking twice about it now?
And like, it wasn't like full on shower. Like there weren't gifts, right?
Right.
There weren't games. It was just like, it was a nice luncheon to celebrate your ongoing engagement.
Well, there was all that advice that she got, all that sound advice.
Right. So sound.
Yes.
So sound. Like sounding.
No, that's not good advice.
I don't know why.
I was wondering why you were going to I knew you were going to do something like that. I was like, no, why? I don't get where that's going. No,
I don't know. That's what Ryan deserves.
Oh, goodness.
I kid. But yeah, it was kind of like a pile-on of Shannon, and she was just like, wait, what? I thought we were cool, and not only are you like still friends with Alexis, but you also think my party was crap. And I think if Jen had just explained it as, it felt awkward to me being celebrated because that's not what I do normally. It's my second wedding, and
right.
I'm just we're still trying to figure out even a date to get married, and it just seemed out of nowhere. But I appreciate the gesture, but it wasn't something that I would have thought of to do for myself.
I mean, it seems clear to me that like if I were ever reborn a housewife of any county, I would need to make sure that I beat people to the punch. That like if I ever say anything, even just in a train of thought, that I make sure that I just repeat it to whomever it was about.
Totally. I mean, I have a decent memory, fairly good. And I would just be like, okay, I said that to Emily. Now I have to make sure I say it to Shannon.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's,
on camera.
Right. Or at least, like, if I feel like maybe I said something shady behind someone's back, I need to be, like, kind of like what Emily did with Tamra, of just like, hey, just so you know, I said that I didn't think you're the most trustworthy person. That's
right.
Thing.
No, she
just
was getting ahead of it. Yes.
So, because I think that's where it's bad. Because then Gina took something that was, I think, genuinely very innocent, of just saying, yeah, like, I'm a little confused. Like, she didn't, like, I didn't ask for this, but she threw it for me. It's nice, I guess, but why, and turned it into this whole, like, Shannon's doing something fake, and
also that Jen thought it was crap. And it was like, that wasn't the sentence that was expressed.
So that's where I agree that Jen was like, I never said it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she rolled her eyes that maybe it was a little bit over the top, but like, so what? Who cares?
Right. It wasn't, yeah. So what? Who cares?
So what? Who cares?
Yeah. She wasn't shitting on it.
Exactly.
So
I can see that.
Yeah. And then, like, for Gina to segue, I had a really tough year. Where was my party? Basically, it was like, ask your best friend Emily.
How was that? Where that was that Beverly Hills? Someone was just.
Oh, Erica was like, "Where was my pizza party?"
Yeah. And then they threw her a party. That was cute. I like that.
They took her to Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah, it was nice. Yeah.
That's kind of what, Gina was doing. Like, I survived so much, and Travis and I are back together, and our kids are back together, and where's my party? Essentially.
Well, you need to make it more of your storyline. I mean, make it more. That's the thing, is I think with Gina, and even with Emily to a point, I think when they do have storylines, they just seem so casual about them. Even when they're like about serious things, like just Gina comes off as though everything's, everything's gonna be fine. Travis and I we don't live together anymore. He moved out like that one season, but she was still like, it's a bummer, but what are you gonna do?
She was crying sometimes, but it wasn't like, they're not super dramatic people,
right,
in that way.
So I think that's what kind of goes against them, and that they're not like, they don't get the attention that the high maintenance,
like Shannon and Tamra.
Right.
Yes.
They don't scream enough, so they don't get the maintenance.
Totally.
So
some water and coffee.
Drink up, Buttercup. I just wanted to say that. I don't know.
Tulip.
Tulip.
So yeah,
My peas.
then that's onto the hot tub,
Yes.
which was so.
Are you dying? Can you please not?
No, I'm just like, I don't know.
You got a little froggy in your throat? Got to get that out of there.
Little Kermit.
All right.
So they get to the hot tub on the boat.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking now of the Kermit remark. I was like, I know there's a really, really crude Miss Piggy joke about
Yes.
having a little frog in her throat or something, but I can't. I'll figure out that punchline later.
You personally said it, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Anyway, they get back to the canal and they end up getting into their hot tubs, which to me looked like those little bumper boats at the fair.
Yes.
And I was like, I don't know that I want to be driving around in one of those in a canal.
In a canal, when like literally Shannon was just like up here,
one foot
up here, and just like I'm there in the boat, and it's like, but you're gonna fall out of the boat. You're not the most flexible person and you're very danger prone.
Drink more water. You just cough this. We'll edit this out.
Yes.
So, I wouldn't trust myself on a bumper boat on the canal, nor would I do with a boom operator and a cameraman. And then that was confusing me because there was definitely a full boat with 5 people on each thing. And then they would show shots without the cameraman in it. And in my head, I was like, how did they disappear? And like, it even took me to way longer than it should have. Like, oh, they went back and filmed some shots of them floating down the river without the camera people.
There were like 3 or 4 boats.
Yeah.
It seemed like, yeah.
With 3 or 4 boats.
Like the 2 that they were in. And then like there was one next to them trying to like capture.
Oh, yeah.
Capture some of the drama too. Yeah.
Yeah. And with it being that hot out, because they were all saying it was so hot, I'm having trouble comprehending that because the one time I was in Amsterdam, it was like winter. So I'm like, I can't imagine being there when it's hot, but I guess it gets hot.
That's what you do when the tulips are blooming.
Yes. I suppose that's what makes the tulips bloom. So, sorry, just wanted to make a voice there.
Tulips, not the color days.
Yeah, stop. So, I did think, oh no, I don't want to watch this when Emily was like, I'm going to give it one more try. And I have to say, I think that went better than I was expecting.
Yes.
You and I were both the entire time up to the very end. We were just like, Tamra, just stop talking. Don't say anything.
Just let her say what she needs to say. And then, you can get out of the boat.
Yeah, even if it's a load of BS, which I feel like it kind of was.
And which part in the boat or at the end?
Both of it.
Yes.
All of it.
Yes.
Anything out of her mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Slade discussion too.
Discussion.
Yes.
Yeah. I think that was So what exactly was said on the boat? Do you remember what? So
basically, she was saying, I'm sorry if. Basically, it was I'm sorry that I hurt you. I'm sorry that I regressed. I'm sorry that I said the things about you and the musician. I think it was like a blanket. I'm sorry for going back from our truth,
our beach truce.
Yes, exactly.
Got it. I enjoyed, and I was like, again, I almost thought it was going to fall apart when Tamra was like, I don't talk about you. You're not relevant.
Exactly. I was like, okay, well, we're done.
I was like, that's just the bad phrasing, really bad phrasing. But because what she was trying to say, of course, was, I haven't been spending these last 18 years talking about our feud. It only comes up when you bring it up. I'm not looking for ways to actively hurt you. Right.
It's just that you bringing it to my doorstep, and then I have to say something, whether it be on camera or on the pod or whatever. But she's not intentionally trying to ruin Gretchen's life. She's just tired of the whole conversation.
Right.
I think Gretchen left the show, and Tamra was done with her.
Right.
But Gretchen kept talking about it before she got back to the show. And then when she gets back to the show, it's all she can talk about.
Right.
So therefore, when you see that conversation with Gretchen and Slade, and he's like, there's hurt on both sides, and if she's willing to let it go, you should. I'm like, this is such bullshit. You are taking a different track because what you're doing isn't working.
Well, I just realized what he was saying. If I read between those lines, he was saying, if she's willing to let it go and not remember or harp on the fact that we accused her of drugging you, then maybe we should just let this go.
Yes.
Maybe we should just swallow all of our plans and just let this one go off into
if she's not going to either complain to Bravo, actively sue us, then we should let this die down and say it was a slip of the tongue.
Right.
Should never have said it.
I don't
or just call Katie a liar. That's what they're
I'm sure it was.
Yeah.
What I don't understand, and if we're jumping ahead, what did anything else happen in the other boat? Nothing really happened in the other boat, right?
Just Shannon being drunk and like Shannon and Jenn like kind of making peace and I'm sorry if that hurt you kind of thing.
Okay, because what I don't understand is, and I think that's what I don't know that any of the women did, what happened between Gretchen leaving and being like, okay, and then going into her room and like, what made her
and
so
crying
emotional and crying? Like,
I think, and I don't know if it was genuine or not, but she did seem like she was very quiet most of the day, except when she was making content. Side note, does she really make that much off of content? Is like she an influencer? I don't follow her, so I don't know. I could check to see how many followers she has, but is that like she says she's like 6 businesses?
I mean, yeah, she must.
I guess anyone could do it that day.
Just do a lot. I mean, sometimes it's just quantity, and like always going and just throwing out
a niche.
Yeah, and seeing what sticks. And maybe she's doing different content that can be reused for her different businesses and,
20% off.
Yeah.
Gretchen 20.
I wish we'd hear more of that kind of locker room talk, so to speak.
Yeah,
the Housewives.
That's fun to shade. Like, Gretchen's doing content again.
Yeah, and just to hear them being like, because it's a bit of a fourth wall break, but I don't think really where they're just like, 20% off Gretchen. And especially if that's like, if she's doing it enough where the women are kind of making jokes or kind of slightly trolling her behind the scenes, like it's happening enough where it's got to be part of her, everyday thing. Like, oh, great, here comes Gretchen. We're going to have to pause and let her do an ad placement.
Well, if you're like, I'm sorry, if you're an influencer, then you're constantly making content.
Right.
So if you're a content creator, that's how you make money. So Slate ain't bringing in any.
So don't say that. You're going to start an 18-year-old feud with Gretchen. It'll go on forever.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. So yeah, she was very quiet, like before the boat and the tulips in the boat. And I think she was just so like resigned to be like, okay, whatever. Or she was acting.
Mm-hmm.
Either it's like, I'm very resigned to like, I'm sorry, I don't want to fight anymore. This is so tiresome. Or she was just taking a different, she was moving different because what she was doing wasn't working with Tamra. So I don't know, like the tears, she did seem really downtrodden by the time she got to dinner and like when she was crying with Jen. But that's the thing. It's like when you have somebody who has constantly lied, it's hard to see, are you actually telling the truth here?
Right.
Is this real emotion? Are you doing it for the cameras?
Because
I don't know.
Part of it reads to me that perhaps, and I'm trying to think the best out of people as we talked in the car. I don't want to like talk about what I don't like about people. I think sometimes we can get a little too negative.
More roses, less thorns.
But I just don't want to give the benefit of the doubt to Gretchen necessarily.
No.
But if I'm going to start doing that, I feel as though she may not believe anything that she was telling Tamra. I think she really feels that Tamra is not a good person.
Yes.
That like Tamra has been out to get her and Slade every day of her life since she left the show, and that Tamra has caused irreparable harm to the two of them. And so I think Gretchen agreeing to let it go is just really rubbing her the wrong way. It's like her instincts are saying, don't do that. And yet she's trying to do it. And I think that's what's going on, is that her conscience.
Oh, she's fighting with like, this is all I know or all I've ever felt about Tamra. But I should feel differently because I want to move on and I want to place on the show. And this is all about conflict resolution. But it's like, she's hurt me so much, I can't let it go.
Right.
I think it's the way it is. Like, she feels so hurt and is so in her mind traumatized by the experience she's had with Tamra. She cannot, it's in her core now.
Yeah, she can't let it go.
And I think being on the show and having to encounter Tamra and having this really like brought up, because I don't think, honestly, like she and Slade are talking about this every day before she got to the show.
I hope not.
Yeah, before she came back to the show. But I think it's like, it's really like, it's in her face. It's like,
can you imagine? Honey, can you hand me that ugly bow? Oh, also, Tamra's a bitch. Oh, thanks. All right. Now a giant headband, okay? Do I look good? Tamra's dumb. Okay.
Higher hair?
Yeah.
Higher hair?
All right.
More pink?
Yeah, Tamra's the devil.
let's pray for her. Let's hold hands.
I know. I really wanted to toss out the C word on that one just for effect, but
I thought you were about to go. I was like, no, not next Tuesday.
No, not next Tuesday.
No.
But no, I mean, it's one of the things, like, she's
difficult.
lived with it for so long
that
like she can't let go of it. I mean, it's like when you just get so comfortable hating somebody. There's no other way around it. It's like it's just part of your everyday of like the fact that my truth in my head is that person is bad, and then to turn around and like find yourself saying the opposite, that like maybe she's not all bad and maybe I could be friends with her. It's got to really screw it.
Well, what she even said, like the producer said, like, do you have hopes for like, of this going well with Tamra moving forward? And she's like, no. If she didn't like change when she accepted Jesus Christ into her heart, like, how's she ever going to change it? I'm like, why are you even going there? She just can't help herself.
But see, but it all comes down to, though, I think the fact that Gretchen won't even admit that there's even a possibility that Slade has been a neglectful father in any way, sense of the word. Like, in Gretchen's mind, that like the things Tamra said about Slade are just patently false,
right?
And they can't even, she doesn't even let on or acknowledge that there may be a world where Slade should have done or could have done more for his children.
Well, but if she truly believed that, then she would be married to Slade.
Well, there's probably financial reasons she's not married.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like you're like, who he is. You know that there is this debt. It's not like make believe,
right?
Because otherwise you would be, biblically, man.
Biblically.
We'll get there.
Oh yeah,
we'll get there.
Yeah. So I mean, you're right. Yeah. Absolutely. It just,
I just, having said all that, when she finally joined them at the table, I wish that Tamra had just been like, again, okay, sure, okay, let's try again. But she was just so like, no, like so adamant of like, I can't move forward. And it's like, you're finally on a bit of a high, right, Tamra, and she is down low. Like, you can't keep beating her. Then you seem like the asshole for beating this woman down,
right,
when she's like physically drained.
I mean, I thought
whether it's an act or not, like, just you kind of got to be like, okay, what else is going on the table?
I'm surprised Tamra kept it together as much as she did. Like, I thought she was going to fly off the handle again and quit 5 more times. No, I honestly did. I think she's over the quitting. I believe that. But so I'm happy that she didn't just unload on Gretchen and like start a whole new thing. But right. I think she was warranted in saying what she said about saying, how come, like, my problem is you said you were past it and then you went ahead and did all this stuff. And then if you were past it and you did all this stuff, even if you were over it, then what were you trying to confront me about at the cowboy party?
Right.
At the hoedown.
Exactly. What was the point of that?
So it's like, clearly you weren't letting it go because you had an opportunity to let it go and then you chose to keep going.
Or then in one breath at that self-defense lunch, when you said, I'm sorry for bringing up the whole thing with the musician, but then then you flip and you're like, I have so many things I could say about you.
Right.
Like, basically, like, don't you make me say those things that I can say that I'm not going to say right now.
Typical housewife.
It's just so like back and forth with Gretchen, and I think that's why she's not a good housewife or a good friend of,
Yeah.
So yeah.
I'm sure it's a little more complicated than that. I'm sure we're also seeing a very tailored version of her, either by the editors or Gretchen or both.
Yeah, but like she gave them only so much to work with, and she came back.
Yeah, true.
We talked about
true.
Ad infinitum. So
very true. Well, and then apparently the big bomb. So this is what I'm.
Well, there's more before the big bomb.
Is there more before the big bomb? Well, the next week's truly the big bomb, but
for sure. I mean, they went to the mall.
Oh yeah,
to the food court. Shannon and Jenn did some synchronized dancing,
which was weird. I feel so embarrassed sometimes when people are loud in Europe, and I'm just like, oh, how American can you be?
It's not the European way.
Yeah, I know. It's like then people are just staring. You nearly knocked that girl's plate out of her hand, Shannon. It was crazy.
Oh my gosh!
Just trying to get by, trying to eat,
trying to matter. And then Tamra nicely told Jenn, "There's a story about you owing money."
See,
said it to her face, like, I just want you to know, here's a story about a lovely lady who owes on her yoga studio.
Right. Well, and I thought that was interesting too, because again, this is just shows how delivery matters. Because she could have just been like, well, I don't know, I saw something that said you were da-da-da-da, but she said, hey, just so you know, as part of iHeart, we get all these notifications and things that we're going to talk about on the show. And this is one of the things that I got sent. Like, what's going on? So she didn't bring it to Jen of like, you're still being horrible. You don't pay your bills, which she could have easily
Or she didn't
done.
drop it at dinner like, so I heard this thing. It was like,
right.
As soon as she saw it, she turned to Jen. This is what I saw. Is this true? Jen could explain herself. She's said this before about the whole issue with the yoga studio and whatever. Right. Which, is it still running, the yoga studio?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know.
I don't even remember the name of it. It's Cut Yoga.
Not Cut Yoga.
So,
but I think, now we can get.
Yeah, now we can get to.
Yeah.
So, the whole bombshell is. This is what I feel bad about, is that clearly it's one of these things that's going to fall in the space between. So Tamra has agreed already to like put it behind her, but she's already opened the can of worms by showing Gina that.
Because she showed Gina that way before the trip.
Right.
And then Gina shared it with Emily on the trip before we got to the food court dinner of we're okay.
Right.
Kinda.
Now that, I will say, feels as though that's planned. Like, that Gina was like, oh, I'm going to bring this up to Emily in Amsterdam. Because there's no way like a week or two went by where she's like, I just can't stop thinking about that post.
She was really like, I'm so concerned about it. And Emily saying, I too feel a certain way about her now. I can't stop thinking about that post.
And so the fact that like Tamra showed that to Gina and then now Gina's showing it to Emily, I feel like the three of them were just like, I know how we're going to take care of Gretchen. This is how we're going to do it. And then how, if it's what we think it is, are any of them surprised? How on earth?
Her social media presence.
You know she's extremely conservative.
Yes.
You know that she...
Very religious.
Yes. You know that she's MAGA, you know that she is all of those things and probably follows a bunch of people. And not that they aren't themselves, some of them.
That's the other thing, too. That's the other layer of it.
Yes. So it's like, unless the post, I don't know the exact post that they're talking about.
I only heard about the post. I've seen it like on Reddit. They've talked about the post.
Okay. So unless you don't need to spoil.
But there's many, I don't know the exact one, but there's been many things that they pointed out that she liked or commented on that was very problematic.
Right.
Yes.
Did she like a Martina Navratilova post? Is that what's going on?
They did a collab.
Probably, yeah. So, that's confusing me as to why they would be shocked that she might support what I'm assuming is an anti-LGBTQ or anti-trans post. Because for Heather to get that upset in the preview, it's clearly something about her children and their relation with the queer community.
Yeah, and for them to say, I don't want to tell Heather, but I want to tell Heather, that's the person it would most affect because she...
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And so again, why that would be surprising for them to think that Gretchen would be involved in social media that is anti-gay or just less than pro-gay,
right?
Is surprising to me, especially when they themselves, unless if we had an honest conversation with all the Real Housewives of Orange County, if the conservative ones were to be like, oh no, I just vote fiscally, I just voted for Trump for the money, I don't agree with his social policies,
and I just couldn't get behind Kamala.
Yeah. Which is probably their other answer.
Yeah.
Or they're like, I wanted gas prices cheaper. It's like,
I wanted, eggs are just too high.
I can't.
High.
Luke can't eat his eggs. Stop it. So, what do you want me to do? Okay. So, anyway. So yeah, that's where I'm just kind of in my head. I'm like, well, that she's not going to be, she's liked a few anti-gay posts. I'm sure of it.
Yes.
So I'm curious to know what exactly it is, how bad it is. I'm going to do some research after this, but I just don't know how that's shocking. And I'm not looking forward to the fact that there's going to be this whole thing about how Tamra caused all this.
Right. I feel like in the preview when Jen's saying something is amiss here, it's like she's referring to but it's Tamra's not making this up. She's not fabricating this. She's,
But-
not like, this isn't like AI,
Right.
you know?
But, Tamra could have just been really calm and quiet about it, thinking like, yeah, I'll apologize now because I know what's coming next.
Oh, I'm sure. And I wonder if something this came up during her meeting with Katie.
Oh.
Because I feel we're going to go back to that because it was such a small
Oh.
And it was-
Katie showed her the post.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Because that would work timing-wise, I think, when she saw...
Yeah, I think you're
Gina
right. And it would
say-
explain why that's such a short meeting with Katie.
Because they're going to flash back to it.
And then Katie's going to be the one who made this all happen. And then
And
she'll be
she-
back next season.
Yes, because she's like, oh, really, Gretchen? How you like me now?
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. I
You
think...
feeling drugged now?
No. 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 No, I think... Well, I'm curious to see where it goes, but I'm also surprised because they don't usually go there
Right.
on Housewives about anything, because this is like political, religious. It's just really...
But yeah, oh yeah, it's true.
It's really... It's something you would see maybe on Beverly Hills,
Right.
but like OC, it's like kind of like this unsaid thing that how conservative they are, unless you're Vicky and you bring it up on your podcast,
Right.
and
Yeah, I mean, unless it's just maybe it's something just really, really fucking awful, So
yeah,
I could see, and yeah, you're right. They wouldn't normally bring that up, and
because they just don't want to
well,
push away part of their audience who, frankly, unfortunately, leans that way.
Yeah.
Believes those things that Gretchen allegedly liked, or commented on.
right. Well, then it'll be interesting to see how they
I
do it
can't
without.
wait.
Yeah, I mean, I'm afraid that they're going to back
not-
off of it a little bit. They're not going to give it like
They're gonna. It's be very. I feel it's gonna be very focused on the LGBTQ of it all, and they are never gonna say MAGA.
oh no.
Yeah, they're never gonna get like deep down into it. Like, this is who you are. This is who you like, because you can put to others in
I
the
mean,
group.
it could also very well have zero to do with conservative politics or Republican. It could just really be about
It's
the
not-
social aspect of it.
It's a social aspect of it, and I think it's probably more religious.
Right. Hence
And-
the question.
Yes, biblical.
Do you biblically believe this?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you could. I'm sure that's how they get around it. Is that's more about the social issue than it is about the
How you voted.
exactly.
Yes.
But again,
It's
how you vote often in these days will kind of be a litmus test for how you feel about a lot of these other social issues.
right. It's
So-
a very fine line. And it's very murky territory for Housewives to get into.
right.
But it is for somebody who just a few episodes ago, like Heather, who was supporting the Trevor Project and brought them onto the show and
Mhm.
had a whole thing for them. Like, this is something she strongly believes in because this is her family. It's not. This is her,
Yeah.
her children.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, this is my friend who's gay or my hairdresser.
Mm.
It's like, this is my children, and you're speaking of,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's going to be a great finale.
I know
Sure.
things like really got good in this. Now we know why the trip ends in Amsterdam, because
Well, and also, Heather hasn't done anything with her dad's ashes yet. So I feel
Oh, yeah.
like the next episode's gonna be very, very emotional for Heather. And at the end of
Oh.
all this emotion, this is going to
I
come
bet they're
too.
spreading them in the beginning of the episode.
Yes.
And then they get to, they're like, oh, it's final dinner. And then Gina's like, I can't hold on to it anymore, Heather. I can't.
Oh, I feel bad. Tamara's going to have a lot of fallout, though, for having brought... Well, and I guess you're right, though. It has to be from Katie as well.
Yes.
So... And that's going to...
It was too short of a scene. I was like, this is all
Yeah,
we get.
yeah.
Like, we haven't seen this woman in like weeks, and now it's all we get. There's got to be a flashback to then bridge to
And-
the reunion.
And it serves also up the ability to give Heather, like, an inroad with Katie to get over it. Like, oh, thank you for, it was hurtful to hear those things, but thank you for having my back and, letting me know that this person felt, so disgustingly about my family or whatever the case is.
Right.
So it would give Heather an excuse to mend fences with Katie.
They are sitting next to each other at the reunion. But that's just because that's what they thought. But also, it's interesting in this episode, Heather said, I don't think Gretchen's she's this evil menace, and she's been nothing but nice. And yeah, they're definitely setting that up for Oh, yeah.
Well, I can't wait to watch.
Me either.
I just hope it goes. I hope our favorites are good in the end.
Exactly. We just want Tamra to come out clean.
And not just Tamra, but like even like Heather, even Gina, and like, because I just don't want that backlash of like, why would you bring this up to me? Like, it's hurtful to hear these things. Like, I'd rather not know, but I
feel like
doesn't happen.
Is no one else thought to bring it up to like none of her friends? Like outside the show thought, hey, this coworker of yours, she's like, unless the people she knows outside the show are not looking for things.
Probably.
Because unless you're on the socials media, you're not really looking for this.
But it's also like how, I have coworkers who I'm sure are very conservative that I don't know, and I just don't bring up their politics, and I don't even think about it. I'm just like, I'm here to do this thing. And, obviously we don't have a creative, presence like the Housewives do, but
But also this is about like friendships and how,
Yeah, I'm just saying. I guess my other point as well was also my friends don't give a shit about my coworkers. they're just like, oh, that guy you work with, okay, cool, So
true. My friends don't either.
Yeah, unless like I was hanging out with like numerous.
Unless the world,
my coworkers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So.
Yeah.
Well, I think we did a good job talking about everything this time, and we'll talk about it next time.
Till next time.